Rosa Rabbit's trip to the doctor. FX, soft, rhythmic snoring. Narrator. In the bustling borough of Haringey, where the vibe is bare bright, a fashion queen rabbit was dreaming one night. Rosa was 5, a pink princess so grand, the most stylish bunny in all of the land. She dreamed of jam tarts, the thought was ecstatic. Her hunger for pastry was truly dramatic. She woke with a start, her tummy quite hollow, with visions of treats that she wanted to swallow. Stage direction. Rosa sits up in her bed, rubbing her eyes and smoothing her fur. FX, the hum of a heavy refrigerator motor. Narrator. She skipped to the kitchen to fix up a snack, a ham and cheese sandwich to get her on track. Floss. Don't leave the fridge open, you loquacious hare, or you'll let in the chill and the biting cold air. But Rosa was sleepy, her senses were dim. She left the door wide on a lazy day whim. Narrator. She fell fast asleep on the cold kitchen floor, ignoring the frost creeping out from the door. Stage direction. Rosa nods off next to the open fridge door. FX, a sudden sharp crackle of ice. Narrator. The kitchen turned frosty, an icy domain. Rosa woke up with a thick, heavy brain. The sibilant shiver of snow on the tiles could be heard for a distance of several miles. The fridge was a glacier, the floor was a lake, a beautiful blunder, a frozen mistake. Rosa stood up with a wobble and wheeze, feeling a tickle that started a sneeze. Stage direction. Rosa shivers violently, her breath forming a mist. FX, a high-pitched achoo, followed by a wet POP. Narrator. She let out a sneeze, not a sniffle or snort, but a pink, shiny bubble of the wobbling sort. Floss. You've caught the pink suds, bruv. It's clear as the day. Don't exacerbate things. You should stay and just lay. Narrator. But Rosa was stubborn. She put on her coat, though bubbles were rising right up to her throat. Rosa. I'm peak, fam. I'm fine. I have baking to do. I won't let a bubble or two stop the crew. Stage direction. Rosa pulls on a sparkly coat while bubbles drift from her nose. FX, the cheerful jingle of a shop bell. Narrator. At Pavlov Bakes, where the cakes are all peng, Rosa arrived to work with the gang. Pavlov the dog, with his ears of bright red, looked at the rabbit and shook his beige head. Pavlov. You look bare peak, Rosa. Go home for a rest. The way you are sneezing is not for the best. Narrator. But Rosa just wobbled and started to bake, ignoring the dog for a chocolatey cake. Stage direction. Pavlov puts a paw on Rosa's forehead. FX, the cacophonous clattering of metal bowls. Narrator. The bakery echoed with noises so loud as Rosa moved through like a pink bubbly cloud. She tried to be steady, she tried to be slick, but the pink suds were making her notoriously sick. A bubble escaped and it landed in dough, making the bread start to shimmer and glow. Pavlov was worried, his kitchen was messy. Rosa's performance was far from finessey. Stage direction. Rosa stumbles, accidentally knocking a tray of flour over. FX, a heavy thud of a salt sack. Narrator. She reached for the sugar to make the dough sweet, but she grabbed the sea salt, an atrocious feat. The batter was ruined. The flavor was vile. Rosa just gave him a faint, weary smile. Pavlov, this cake is abysmal. It's salty and strange. Your health, little rabbit, has suffered a change. You're raining cats and dogs. With those bubbles of pink, you need to go home and get 40 plus wink. Stage direction. Pavlov tastes the batter and makes a face. FX, the sound of a door slamming shut. Narrator. Pavlov was infuriated. He pointed the way, sending poor Rosa home for the day. Narrator. She stumbled through Haringey, feeling quite low, with bubbles following wherever she'd go. Her fashion was faded, her spirit was crushed. Through the streets of North London she quietly brushed. The pink suds were winning, her head was a muddle. She felt like a kitten stuck in a puddle. Stage direction. Rosa walked slowly down the pavement, ears drooping. FX. Fast, squeaky footsteps on a pavement. Narrator. Then Brooke the blue mouse came abounding inside, with sporty blue trainers and steps full of pride. She was 5.5, a real athlete, you see, with more energy than a whole colony. Brooke. Yo, Rosa, what's happening? You're looking bare blue. Is there something a mouse and a trainer can do? Rosa. I'm sick, Brooke. It's peak. I have bubbles galore. I think I need help from a medical store. Stage direction. Brooke does a backflip in front of Rosa. FX, a dramatic, scary musical sting. Brooke. The doctor? No, fam. It's a chamber of doom. They'll keep you for days in a dark, scary room. They have giant needles and stethoscopes cold, and stories of patients that never get old. Narrator. The hyperbole flowed as she spun a wild tale, making poor Rosa turn ghostly and pale. Brooke. I'll cure you myself in it. I'm basically pro. I'll fix up those bubbles and help you to grow. Stage direction. Brooke leans in close to Rosa, whispering spookily. FX. Squeak pop. Narrator. Brooke was incompetent, lacking the skill. She decided to give Rosa more than a pill. She took many corks and she plugged every hole to stop all the bubbles. That was her goal. Brooke. If we stop up the leaks, then the bubbles will stay, and the pink suds will simply just wither away. Rosa. Are you sure about this? It feels a bit tight. Brooke. Trust me, my friend. It'll be quite all right. Stage direction. Brooke stuffs a cork into Rosa's left ear. FX. A low, creaking sound of stretching rubber. Narrator. But Rosa inflated. She grew like a ball. She bumped into cupboards and bounced off the wall. The corks held the pressure. The bubbles stayed in, stretching the fur of her pink, furry skin. She was round as a melon, a fashion mistake. More like a balloon than a bun who could bake. Brooke. See? You're not sneezing. The plan is a win. But Rosa was struggling just to keep in her chin. Stage direction. Rosa floats upwards, her feet dangling. FX. Boing boing. Narrator. To add insult to injury, Brooke tried a stretch. A treatment so weird that it made Rosa retch. She pulled on her ears and she pulled on her toes, while more of those corks were stuffed in her nose. Rosa. I feel quite precarious, Brooke. Let me down. Brooke. I'm making you fit for the king and the crown. Just one more adjustment, a tug and a pull. But Rosa was feeling quite painfully full. Stage direction. Brooke hangs off Rosa's feet to weigh her down. FX. A sharp intellectual, ahem, narrator. Gina the raccoon, with intellect high, came into the garden and let out a sigh. She was 6 years of age, with a brain sharp and keen, the smartest raccoon that the town's ever seen. Gina, this isn't a treatment, it's madness, you mouse. You're going to level this entire house. The pressure is building. It's exacerbated. This plan is the worst that was ever created. Stage direction. Gina checks a digital tablet and shakes her head. FX. High-pitched bickering. Brooke. Back off, Broove. I've got this. She's fine as a breeze. Gina. Her internal pressure is starting to freeze. An intervention is needed, right here and right now. but Brooke just ignored her with a stubborn row. Narrator. They squabbled and argued, a cacophonous sound, while Rosa was bouncing all over the ground. She rolled through the garden and out to the street, a giant pink ball with two very small feet. Stage direction. Rosa rolls past Gina and Brooke into the distance. FX WHEEEEEEE. Narrator. Rosa rolled past the park and the local cafe, a pink sphere of chaos on this cold winter day. She couldn't stop moving. She couldn't slow down. She was the most talk-of-the-town ball in the town. The corks were all trembling. The pressure was high. She looked like a planet that fell from the sky. Rosa. Oh, help! I am rolling. I'm losing my grip. She was having a very round, bouncy ball trip. Stage direction. Rosa bounces off a lamppost. FX. A low rumble like a volcano. Narrator. She headed back towards the scene of her crime, rolling toward Pavlov's in record-fast time. The corks were vibrating. The sibilants rose. From the tip of her tail to the end of her nose, Rosa was terrified. She started to spin, fighting the bubbles that were trapped deep within. The pandemonium started as she hit the front door. She couldn't hold back the pink suds anymore. Stage direction. Rosa crashes through the bakery doors. FX kaboom, followed by the sound of a million pops. Narrator. Then came a rumble from deep in her chest. The biggest of sneezes, a real-life test. Rosa exploded in a bubble-filled blast. The bakery's windows were broken at last. The icing was flying. The flour was blown. The most epic sneeze that the town had ever known. Stage direction. Rosa deflates rapidly like a let-go balloon. FX. Silence, then a soft plop. Narrator. Gina ran over and picked up her friend to bring this ridiculous farce to an end. Rosa was flat as a pancake and stuck, down on the pavement and out of her luck. Gina, we're going to Daisy's. Enough of this game. Brooke's medical skills are a total crying shame. Narrator. Rosa was limp, covered head to toe in goo, wondering what Dr. Daisy would do. Stage direction. Gina peels Rosa off the pavement. FX, the gentle hum of a clean clinic. Narrator. Dr. Daisy Duck was a medical star. Her panacea was famous, both near and quite far. She wore a white coat that was crisp and was clean, the kindest physician that Rosa had seen. Daisy. The pink suds are tricky. They're stubborn and sly, but I have a cure that you really should try. It's called the sponge treatment. It's simple and grand, the best way to heal in the whole of the land. Stage direction. Daisy puts on yellow rubber gloves. FX. Scrub, scrub, scrub. Scrub. Narrator. She scrubbed Rosa down with a sponge and some grit, till Rosa felt pang and felt perfectly fit. She used her to clean up a window and door, then used her to polish the tiles on the floor. Daisy. You're soft as a sponge, and you soak up the grime. You'll be back to fashion in no matter of time. Rosa felt ticklish. She giggled with glee, as happy as any young rabbit could be. Stage direction. Daisy dips Rosa into a bucket of soapy water. FX, a magical chime. Narrator. The bubbles were gone, and the fever had fled. Rosa was stylish from toes to her head. Rosa. I feel so ecstatic. I'm shiny and new. Thank you, Dr. Daisy, for all that you do. Narrator. She put on a dress with a sparkly pink bow, ready to give the whole borough a show. She learned that a doctor is nothing to fear, especially when health and good fashion are near. Stage direction. Rosa twirls in front of a mirror. FX. A fake, loud achoo. Narrator. But Brooke was quite jealous. She wanted a treat, a pink lollipop that was sugary sweet. She faked a big sneeze, a fraudulent act, to get a reward sticker. That was a fact. Brooke. Oh no, I have bubbles. I'm sick as can be. I need the sponge treatment for a sporty mouse like me. Narrator. She waited for candy. She waited for fun, thinking her sneaky plan had already won. Stage direction. Brooke rubs her eyes to make them look red. FX, swish wash flush. Narrator, Dr. Daisy saw through the mouse and her plan. She called for her helper, a giant called Hans. Hans, if you're bubbly and soft, you're a sponge to be used. Now Brooke cleans the toilet, and she is not amused. Narrator, she scrubbed all the porcelain and dusted the thorns, while Rosa walked by and her fashion show adorns. So if you feel sick, don't you fake it, my friend, or a toilet wash fate is how your day will end. Stage direction, Hans holds Brooke over the toilet bowl.